Hello, everybody. Welcome to my podcast. My name is Lorena, and I am the Philosophical Witch. Today, we're going to talk about extroversion and introversion. How do we manage these two polarities of experiencing life or experiencing ourselves, right? This is a topic that comes up pretty often in my friendship circle. I find that a lot of my friends and I have like a different perspective on how extroversion works and how introversion works, different than like what a psychologist would tell you. So today, we're gonna talk about that, and I'm gonna give my opinion on the subject. See what you think about it. It's a little different. But anyways, so basically, extroversion is this mannerism of living where people who are extroverted get their energy from other people or from social scenarios, right? So they like to be around people. They like to be like maybe the center of attention or to get attention from people, or they like to be outside getting like new experiences and just like looking outside rather than inside, right? And then we have introverts who are more often, they're maybe more shy, maybe more quieter. They get their energy from being alone and getting rest and spending time with their thoughts. They are very introspective, and the difference is they get drained by being around other people, right? So they go to a party and they have like what is it called, I've heard it being described as like a battery, or they get to a certain point where like they have to leave because like their social battery is like it ran out, kind of thing. So they get drained by being like around a lot of people, right? And that's basically how like a psychologist would describe it, or at least how I see like pop psychology describing it on the internet, right? But I find myself not falling into any of these categories, and whenever I talk with friends about it, they seem to have the same pattern as me, where we don't really fall into either the extroversion or the introversion. We're not really like getting our energy from always being outdoors or like out with people, and we're not really getting all of our energy by just being alone. It's kind of like a mix. I've had some friends describe themselves as an extroverted introvert or an introverted extrovert, right? So I'm going to give you like this way of this like frame that comes to me from learning about esoteric knowledge. So if you're here, listening to me, you probably heard about the law of duality in esoterica. It basically talks about how everything on planet Earth has like an opposite, right? Like we are built by a dual nature. So we have, and this is experienced by female energy and masculine energy. And female energy naturally is more introspective, right? Like it's associated with emotions and the unknown of the subconscious, right? But then masculine energy is associated with the material realm and mind and action, right? So that would be like your introverts as the feminine energy and the extroverts as the masculine energy. But I would say that following into the extremes of these two categories will leave you in entropy. That's what esoterica teaches us, right? So if you become extremely masculine and your polarity, and so by the way, we are not really specifying men when we talk about masculine energy, right? Like this, both energies live within men and women, and they are carried a little different. Like masculinity is carried different in a man than a woman, same as emotion and feminine energy is carried different when it's in a man than in a woman. Like emotion in a woman would feel like a lot of emotion, right? But in a man, it would feel more like introspection, or enough solitude to make him feel the depth, but not necessarily fall into like a stream of tears kind of thing, right? I mean, you can for sure, but again, it's like carried a little bit different, right? So anyways, the extremes are always a way to fall into entropy, and the path to enlightenment, or at least the path to self-realization, is by merging both polarities and becoming the androgyne. This is also called Mercury, or the mercurial mind. So you become you gain enough introspection where you become wise, and then you use that wiseness to go out in the world and do something about it or with it, right? So there you have your feminine and your masculine polarity, your deep thoughts and desire for solitude, your emotion driven mechanisms, but then you have your sense of adventure and desire for exposure and meeting new people and having new experiences and proving yourself in the world, in the game of earth. And that's your masculine energy, right? So whenever people ask me, like, what am I? Am I an introvert? Am I an extrovert? I don't think I'm neither. I think I am a mix of the desire for peaceful, quiet solitude and the desire to prove myself and constantly be invoking myself to adventure and to better myself, materialistically speaking, right? Like on the Matrix. So these two aspects of myself, I would say they have turned me into the androgen, Mercury, Hermes, Thoth, Christ, right? The angel, the one that has left duality and has become one with everything. So to live a wise life, we need solitude. We need to be at peace with ourselves in the silence of a lonely room with the noise of our thoughts and our regrets and our wishes and our desires. We have to cross that path of being with ourselves, the hermit, becoming hermetical, hermeticism, the hermit, becoming one with ourselves. Know thyself and you'll know the game, right? So we have to go through that phase. If we want to turn wise, like we have to become introverted a little bit, right? Well, not a little bit, actually a lot. Enough, okay? Enough for every person is going to be like their own set of chemistry, or like their own, every person has like their own chemistry going inside of them, right? So everybody will do this differently, but every wise man has to cross the path of self-judgment. And to do self-judgment wisely with discernment, you have to be alone. You have to feel that solitude and know thyself, right? This would be introspection, introversion. But then to prove yourself in the ring, in the battle of earth, in the game of earth, you do have to go outside of yourself and meet people and round out like a Justice League. Like you have to invoke different characters and different players for your own adventure, and know people and have battles and fall, and then become victorious in some other battles, and all of that to prove that you're master of the matrix of matter, right? Not only master of your mind and your interior motives and beliefs, but also master of the material realm, and that's how you become the magician. That's your extroverted nature, right? So aside from that, there's other aspect that, again, in this type of conversations, like it's always brought upon. I noticed that my friends, the ones that are doing like they're on the path of like regeneration, right, or transformation. They're looking at self-help material and all that. All of those friends, they always tell me they get drained out of energy by people that they don't really like. And they don't have to be strangers, because they'll tell you like, no, some strangers are really cool and I get like really like excited about knowing them and meeting them. But then there are these people that just drain me, and I have to leave and go to my house and like recharge. So I think I'm an introvert, and I don't think that's what's happening. I think that people, the ones that are doing the self-help and they're trying to transform themselves, and they're asking themselves the hard questions about life and wondering who they are here on earth, they are becoming self-aware and conscious, and that makes you be aware of other people as well. So before, you probably, like when we are teenagers and we're like, I don't know, maybe under the influence of alcohol or whatever, we wouldn't even notice that somebody is a drag, or somebody is like really annoying or boring, maybe, right? Because like certain scenarios or like really loud music can make people who are boring it seem very exciting, right? But then as we start getting away from all of those scenarios and all of those like way of living and all that, we'll start noticing and being more mindful of our surroundings, and we become more aware of who the toxic people are, who the vampire energy type of people are around us, right? Even if those people aren't like mean people or bad people, they can still suck energy if they are in need of love or attention, right? If they're a little lost, if they don't know who they are, if they are very if they can get like a little combative when we talk about like our self-healing journey, and yeah, like they get combative or whatever, we can feel that like energy leaving us or like making us uncomfortable. I don't think that would make us an introvert. I think that just makes us an energy reader, right? So ask yourselves, like, are you really an introvert, or are you just very mindful of your energy and other people's energies, right? Or are you actually a wise man that wants to or likes to go deep within his or her thoughts, just to then go outside and conquer earth with the discernment to know who to trust and who not to trust, and who to say hi and whom not to like spend time with, right? Wouldn't that be a little different than just calling ourselves like introvert, extrovert? What do you think? Well, anyways, so that's all I have for today. Just this was a little quick one also, but yeah, that's pretty much it. I think I got everything I had in mind, or everything I wanted to say. I think I got it all. You know what? No, I have something else to say. I do think that falling in really heavy on the pendulum, I think that being like a extreme extrovert, I think that comes from trauma and the fear of being alone and the fear of being with your own thoughts. I think those people can be a little addicted to distraction, right? Distraction from their path or what they have to do, what they need to do. I think they can search for thrillement or new experiences out of the fear of monotony or the fear of growing up sometimes, right? But I also think that falling too far on the pendulum on the introverted side, I think that's also a type of fear, like agoraphobia, It would be like fear of new connections, fear of what other people think about us. It can be fear of ourselves, like not being good enough. It can be like an anxious energy that, all of that. We say a lot that it needs to be healed. Like you can't go through life just being anxious of like going to a supermarket or like being at a kind of loud, a little bit loud place, right? You should be able to control yourself enough where you can go through life without it giving you draining you or giving you anxiety, right? I mean, again, we need to be wise and have discernment where we go, how many times we go. Like, do we really want to go to that rock concert, or do we really want to meet that person for coffee, that person that, I don't know, is like a really bad friend? Even though it's our friend, we should probably like break ties with that person. Do we really need to do that? You should have discernment over these things, but the fear of the public shouldn't give you like a living disorder, right? If it makes sense. I almost feel like the extreme pendulums, they're some type of disorders. Like I do feel like those people are not functioning well on society. I do think that deep introspection brings out like amazing artists or amazing what would it be, like scientists, like discoveries, but still you can sense a type of sadness or sorrow or desperation, right? I mean, again, balance is the way to live, or at least is what I'm going to preach here, right? And yeah, on the other side, like extreme extroversion, it can be sensed almost like mania, even though I do think some comics can be like that, or who would be like that? Even some artists are like that, right? Like extreme extroverts, maybe athletes. I'm just thinking of like people who like being outdoors and meeting other people. Like salespeople, right? Like I'm sure that's that works for some people, right? Like the extreme extroversion. But I don't think that just hanging around forever in new experiences, new people, new bars, new events, new like this. I think it's, like I said, I do think it's a type of mania or like disorder, or I just don't find it healthy. Balance is the way to become the androgen, the hermetic man or the hermetic woman. Balance is the way to enlightenment. At least that's what the alchemists say. So anyways, that's it for today. So glad you stayed with me until the end, and I'm sending you a lot of love and a lot of light, and I'll see you at the next episode. Okay, goodbye.